Welcome, everybody. My name is Zack Brittain. This is the PBRE show, Phipps Brittain Real Estate show. I am joined, the inaugural episode, the premiere episode, with the Phipps of the Phipps Brittain, Matthew Phipps. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
It's going to be good, man. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, second time around.
Second time around, you know.
Second time's the charm.
Yeah, that's how we do it.
Yeah.
We're in this fancy studio. It's great.
We are in a fancy studio. Yeah. Thank you, KPL, hooking us up.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, for everybody that's watching and listening, all three of you people out there, we thank you. We appreciate you.
Yep.
Basically, I want to get people on here to talk about what they've done in their careers, how they built their businesses. I love local as well. You know, we're big Kitchener-Waterloo guys, obviously growing up and living here and running our business here. But I also think that there's not a ton of like Kitchener-Waterloo stuff. So we're going to learn who you are, what you do, what you're about. We're going to talk some deals. We're going to talk some news in terms of Kitchener-Waterloo.
Right.
But I also want to leave like goodies. Like I've done some shows. I big podcast guy, big YouTube show guy. And I always like, you know, at the end or sometimes at the beginning, sometimes I'll just drop like that one little nugget that you're like, ooh, I really like that. And so I'll ask you for some goods before we sign off.
All right. I feel like that's kind of what podcasts are all about.
Yeah, but like just specifically like what people expect if they're coming into the show blind. They have no idea who you are or I am. So like for everybody that has no idea who you are or who we are, what do you do?
I'm a real estate agent and a real estate investor.
Full time. All you do.
Every day, 7 days a week.
Literally every day.
Literally every day.
Okay. What'd you do before real estate?
Renovations.
Okay. And how long ago was that?
Whew. You're aging me, Zack. We're like, 7 years now in real estate and real estate investing. So that was like,
So 7 years in real estate. Before that, renovations for like 2, 3, 4 years, right?
No, it was like 5.
What?
Like pretty much right out of high school.
What?
So I'm not as educated as you, Zack. So
didn't really do me good.
No.
It doesn't really matter that much. All right, well, let's get the notes out here. So, Matt, been in real estate 7 years, full-time agent, full-time investor. Your day-to-day, what's that looking like? Are you like, you know, just looking at properties yourself? Are you like running clients around 10 hours a day? Like, what's the deal?
At this point in the business, it's a lot about just obviously keeping up with the market the day-to-day. Like, the market has been so...
You can swear
all over the place.
You can swear in this show.
Oh, I can really.
I think so. Can we edit that, Derek?
No, we don't need to. This is our show.
True.
Our show.
True.
All right.
It's a kid's show.
The market has been fucked over the last little bit, right? It's been the last year, especially. It's just been crazy. Even before then, we have been in a very up and down market since we've been in the business. 2016 got my license. We saw the 2017 craziness. 2018 things calmed down, and then the craziness of the 2020s and through COVID, and now through the interest rates and all of that stuff. So. Staying in touch with the market is definitely a huge part of what I do. If we can't do that, we can't make good decisions on our own things, and we can't give real good advice to our clients. So, obviously staying right in touch, having my fingers on the pulse of the market at all times. It's a huge part of what I bring to the table here.
You're listing junkie though too, like straight up, like you'll be like, hey, have you seen this one? And I'm like, dude, I haven't looked on my computer for 3 hours. Sorry. And you're like, yeah, I already saw it.
Yeah. And I get out and see stuff. Like it's important to go out and see stuff. Again, to stay in touch with the market. You gotta get out and see stuff.
I call it at bats. Like I've been telling a lot of our clients lately, like you got to go take more at bats because there's less really good deals out there.
Yeah.
So like if you don't see it and if you're not looking and you're not running numbers consistently, how do you know how good of a deal it is? Yeah.
And if you haven't seen it, I find some of the deal, like the real deals, sometimes just really slip through the cracks.
Yeah.
Like you'll go and see stuff and you'll think, oh, it's going to get a bunch of offers or it's overpriced or whatever it is. Offer day rolls around, they don't know what they got or they don't get anything or, suddenly the agent reaches out and say, hey, the seller may be motivated or whatever it is. If you don't see it, you don't know.
Yeah.
So if you go and you see it, those opportunities, you can kind of say they fall into your lap. I mean, they don't because you're out there, looking at stuff, but that's...
More times you swing, more hits you get. Like
you got to see it. You got to be in the game to be ready.
This is true. Okay, so full-time real estate agent, 7 years now.
Mm-hmm.
Investor for pretty much all those 7 years, right? Just for listeners, I know this.
Yeah, and that's what got me into it, right?
Yeah.
So did renovations from when I was 18, 19. Did that until I was 24, 25 when I got my real estate license.
Yeah.
But the reason I got my real estate license was because I kind of got intrigued with real estate investing. I bought a house with a buddy when I was 22, bought a live and flip. That really intrigued me. And then, one thing led to the next. And, here we are. But I got into real estate because I like real estate investing. So I've been active since then. Sold that place, bought a duplex.
We're gonna get into investing. Don't give away all the investing experience yet. We're gonna get into that.
You want the goods.
So. We're gonna get to the goods. All right. Okay, so investor, full-time real estate agent. We're working clients, working our own portfolio, helping clients buy, sell homes, also helping clients invest in properties.
Yep.
Okay. So now that we know what the fuck you do,
yep,
we're gonna learn who you are.
Okay.
And this is, we got a couple segments lined up. This is the gauntlet. This is one that I'm gonna change every time, but we're gonna fire off a bunch of this or that questions.
Okay.
So we get to know who you are. And I changed some of them up, so there are some curveballs in here.
Fair enough. For the 3 viewers as well, I have no idea getting.
Yeah, no. You have not been prepped. Even though we're partners and we run the business day to day and we talk all day every day, you have no idea what's going on here. Yeah, just to be clear, Matt is not the media guy.
I'm not.
I convinced him to do this.
Yeah.
But we're gonna have fun. All right, coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Tacos or burgers?
Tacos.
Right? Yeah. But also
they gotta be good tacos.
No, hear me out here. The best taco isn't better than the best hamburger. The best hamburger I've ever had is way better than the best taco I've ever had. Really? When was the last time you had a taco? You're like, generally speaking, tacos slap.
I think it's easier. It's easier to
make a decent taco.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all. I just need to say my piece. That question was more for me.
Yeah. Okay.
Winter or summer?
Summer.
Best vacation spot?
Amsterdam.
That's a great spot. Worst vacation you've ever had?
Worst vacation?
Yeah. What was one time you're like, I'm taking this time off and it just sucked?
I had time off a few weeks ago because we bought the cottage and I thought I'd be chilling golfing all day and I wasn't. I was building a deck and building a dock, so that was shit.
Yeah, that one's tough.
Yeah.
I had one vacation, took Michelle to Collingwood for the day, spent the whole day on the phone with Jamil.
Yeah.
Trying to close a deal that didn't end up closing.
Oh yeah, that happens.
Welcome to real estate, guys and girls. You want to get into real estate investing?
Yeah.
Gonna burn a few days. All right. Worst job you ever had?
Broil King. Assembly line. Nothing is Broil King. Good barbecues. Just shitty assembly line.
Fair. Favorite sports team?
Are we talking?
What's one team that you're gonna watch? Like you're like I want to watch.
Team or like international?
Dude, I don't care. Pick one.
Oh, the English soccer team. I got to watch the World Cup every time. If I had to pick one sport to watch, that would be it.
Yeah, you get weird around World Cup.
Yeah.
Favorite dinner spot?
Ooh.
Actually, you know what? Scratch that. Better. Favorite lunch spot? Like takeout lunch. Come on, man. In Kitchener Waterloo.
That's harder, actually. I don't really have like a go-to. I went through a phase where I was eating a lot and it's kind of ruined everything for me, to be honest.
You suck. Okay. Give me a book. What's a book that you read that you're like, yeah.
Highland Shawarma. Best.
You're going to shout out Highland Shawarma?
I'm going to shout out to Highland Shawarma. Best shawarma in town.
Whoa.
My favorite, Highland Shawarma.
Okay.
Now that I have to think about it a little bit, that's it.
Okay.
Sorry, go on.
All right. Well, give me a book. What's a book that you read that was like, yeah, that was useful?
Probably Millionaire Real Estate Investor and The Millionaire Real Estate Agent. Simply because that got me into investing in real estate. So
okay. Good real estate. Those are good real estate books.
Yeah.
And I've read them.
They're basic.
I've read them more than once though. Like I've gone back and like gone through them, like not like hardcore read, but like skimmed through parts. I'm like, oh yeah, that's good.
Yeah. They're
simple yet effective.
Reads. They're easy reads. I'm a simple man. So
okay. Do you have any hidden talents people don't know about? Like what's a skill set that like most people wouldn't know?
I was telling you beforehand with these mics in my face about my upcoming rap career, but
we gotta edit that out. There's no way. There's no way. So no, nothing? Like some people would be like talents? Some people are like, man, I used to juggle and I can juggle like 10 things at the same time. I don't know.
I can cook.
That's not a talent, bro. You can cook like
bro, I'll make you some tacos, they're bomb.
I'll believe it when I see it. Yeah. All right, cash flow or appreciation? What are you looking for? Pick
cash
one.
Flow. You can control it.
All right, give me one sneaky awesome thing that you actually like really like about living in KW.
Sneaky awesome. What do you mean by sneaky?
I don't know. Like, what's one thing that people are just like, I didn't know that, or one thing that you personally enjoy about living in Kitchener?
Personally enjoy about living in Kitchener. All my friends are here.
Wow, that's so lame. What's one thing you hate about Kitchener Waterloo?
I don't know.
I got mine just loaded. I'm thinking of my own answers.
I know.
Dude, the parking. You used to be able to park anywhere and not get tickets and not have to pay for it.
Because you're downtown kids.
And now, anywhere, dude. I've gotten ticketed on side streets. During the winter, you pull over for a showing, you park, and you come back and you got a ticket because you didn't pull into the driveway because you don't want your client to block you in because they locked their keys in their truck that one time. Oh, dude, it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. Kitchener used to be cool, man. At least they don't charge as much as Waterloo for tickets.
Yeah.
All right. If you weren't doing what you're doing now for work, what would you do?
It's a good question.
It's the first time you said that. I've asked you so many questions, and that's the first time you're like, that's a good one.
Yeah. I would either go back and just follow my construction background, or I would go sell something else. I could sell anything. I could go.
Love that. Once you learn how to sell, you can sell anything.
Yeah, I would sell anything, really.
Okay. Give me a pet peeve about the business. You're in sales as an investor or as a real estate agent. What's like one pet peeve about the business that just like drives you mental?
I'm a big guy on people not wasting my time. So that.
Yeah, that's fair. I think everybody hates people wasting their time. It's just hard to properly articulate it.
Yeah, and I don't mind it if it's like, I don't know. We sometimes have people reach out and be like, "Oh, I didn't want to waste your time." And I don't mean it in that way at all. If you have genuine questions and come from a genuine place, like I'm always happy to help. And it's like I don't view that as a waste of time. It's there's little things, sellers that like you'll get negotiating back and forth, and then suddenly they'll just be like, "I'm out," and it's like I'm trying to work here. I work with their buyers, and suddenly it's just got ridiculous, and suddenly it's just like flipped on its head, and it's like, well, that was just a big old waste of time. And
then you got to explain to your clients that they just wasted a bunch of their time too, because the seller just
like shit like that, or like one of my pet peeves is listing strategies have gotten just fucking stupid sometimes. I would like, and I get the whole price, like I get listing strategies obviously. However, when you see a property that's been on the market for 30 days at a certain price, I'm expecting that one to at least take their asking price. I would generally expect to negotiate it. However, I would expect to at least
you've been on the market for a month.
You're up for 30 days now.
And you expect 200 over asking?
Any time. And it's like you go and you bring out a reasonable offer within a few percent of their asking price, and they have expectations, 10%, 20% higher than their asking price. And they're like, bro, you've been on the market for 30 fucking days. You've got 0 showings. We're the only guy at the table. What the hell's going on? Yeah. So that pisses me off. Yeah. And that to me is a waste of time, because why do I even go on that showing? Yeah. Why are you listed at $1 million when you want 1.2 and you've been on the market for 30 days? I get it if you want to list at $1 million up first, let it blow up, see where you get. You get true market value. You'll see what a buyer's really willing to pay.
Nay.
But if you're just gonna sit there and have expectations of way over, you're just wasting everyone's time. Especially when I book the showing, and sometimes you talk to a listing agent ahead of time. Hey, what are your expectations? No expectations. Go ahead. Psych expectations. Get fucked.
This is true. This is true. Okay. Last one. If you had one album to listen to for the rest of the year, what would it be? You used to be a big music guy. Like when we were in college, you were like, you used to go to tons of shows and stuff too.
I've gone through like a lot of phases with music too. Like
you went through a rock phase for a bit. Then when we got back on the rap.
Yeah. Like I've been honestly like all over. Even now, like I'm a big hip fan.
Yeah.
Like big hip fan. So like if it's like
didn't you and producer Derek, didn't you guys do White Stripes too?
I've seen Jack White like 3 or 4 times. I've seen the hip a couple of times.
Yeah.
Then I can also like slap on some Tupac or some Shine if you want to get real crazy with it.
He was talking about Shine before the show.
Yeah, I was.
We'll stick with that.
That's what I'm saying.
All right. Let us, good job on the gauntlet. We'll clean that up next time for the next guest so I can just grill him with more good questions. But let us know in the comments how he did. If you guys have any pet peeves, or if you have any sneaky cool things about Kitchener Waterloo, if you guys are locals that you like about here, I'd love to hear about that. We're going to move on to the next segment now, Matthew. This is going to be the investment segment, because I know you're an investor. Most of the people that we're going to get on through the show are going to be investor in some way, shape, or form, whether it's investing in their own business and other businesses, in real estate, what have you. So I'd like to ask you about your first deal. What was the first property you purchased?
When I was like...
The first property you ever purchased?
A single family home.
Okay. How old were you?
22.
And you did that deal with a buddy?
Yeah.
Okay. How much did you buy it for?
$220 or $225.
Single detached in Kitchener, $225?
Yeah, that would have been, what year would that have been? 2013.
Okay. And what'd you guys do with it?
Just renovated it. It needed like cosmetic renos. So it was fairly easy. Kitchen, bath. We didn't touch the basement. It was like main floor and upstairs.
$225. Did the cosmetics. How much do you think you guys dropped on that one?
Maybe $40,000.
Okay, but you're doing a lot of the work yourselves.
Oh yeah, like while living there, we did a lot of it like pre-living there. Like I was still living at home at the time. Actually, I moved back into home so I could save and buy. And then I stayed there, renovated it for the majority of it, and then we kind of picked away at it.
Okay. And so, do you guys still have it?
No, we sold that.
Okay, what'd you guys sell for?
I think it was like $315.
Oh, okay.
2 years, 2.5 years.
So let's call it 225. Let's call it 50K. So you're in it for 275.
Yeah.
Sell for 315. Guys make 30, 40, 50K, give or take.
Yeah, basically. I had at the time, I put all my money into that, right? Like I you're 22 and you buy a house, you're putting all your money into it. Let's be honest.
Yeah, let's get real.
I think I started out with like 20 grand or so. And we bought it and then I sold it and I was walking away with 60K. Now, obviously, I put money into it and I had my real estate license. That was like the first house that I sold when we got a real estate license as well. You
sold that one?
Yeah.
Oh, boy, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I didn't know you had a license there. That's sweet.
Yeah.
You take commish?
No. No.
What'd you pay out?
2.
Yeah. Okay.
It might have been 2.5 at that point.
Wow, generous. The market is different then, though. And honestly,
it was
2.5 used to be normal in KW.
Yeah, because it was $300K.
Yeah, true. Now you got 2% on 800.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little different.
I'd rather take the 2 on 8 than the 2.5 on 3.
Quick maths. Okay. All right. So first place, live and flip.
Yeah.
Right now. Talk about, so this is 2013, 2014 in Kitchener.
Mm-hmm.
Prices weren't going up that crazy. What are the next kind of few deals that you did after that?
So I sold that, like I said, was with a buddy, and I sold that to buy a duplex on my own.
Okay.
So
basically went single family to duplex on your own. So single family to multifamily.
Yeah, multi. But this is when I discovered real estate investing. So I was like, I should buy a duplex.
So that's when the multiple income streams from one property kind of idea starts coming in.
That's when I got into real estate too. So I then quit kind of, slugging around.
Swinging the hammer
and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And you get into real estate, you're like, I'm not gonna get paid for at least 6 months. So buying a duplex was kind of the way. At least I could offset some costs. I still want to own. I bought that duplex. Then I bought another duplex. Then I did a flip. Then I kept that one. I moved and I bought my single family home that I currently live in. And then it was then I got into duplex conversions. It was conversion. Flipped a bunch of them. Kept some. Conversion. I don't know how many I did. A bunch.
Yeah. Yeah. And so the idea, I'm assuming, was after we're out of the single family game, we can live on the cheap in the duplex, save all the money, use the extra cash from selling real estate and investing in real estate to go buy some flips.
Yeah.
Build up the cash position. And then you bought a single family home.
Yeah. I lived for cheap. So I really did. Like I said, I was telling you, I even charged my now wife at the time. I was charging her rent too. So I was living for real cheap.
Either you guys go rent a spot or you go buy a spot and rent half of it and make money on the other half.
Rent was cheap. She was paying $400 a month. Come on.
Yeah. It's just funny. That's just a funny little memory too. When you're just at the time, I wasn't getting paid for 6 months.
It makes me feel better because then I actually started making some money and I knew that she wasn't just in it for the money.
This is true. And that was probably maybe second, third year in the business after you'd done another flip or two when you started to make some real money consistently.
You don't have to pay rent anymore.
Yeah.
If you sell a few homes in a month, you take some commissions, and she's like, "Give me $400." I felt bad.
Yeah.
But she always handled over. She never bucked at that, which I respected.
Yeah. Aggressive works hard.
She does.
She's a hard worker.
She does. Yeah.
So we did some flips, building the real estate career. Did some duplex conversions. Duplex conversions are pretty hot. And then we started doing deals together. Did a couple duplex conversions, flipped some, kept some, and then a couple triplexes, a couple fourplexes.
Yeah.
And
similar model. Obviously, we do the BRRRR strategy. If anybody's seen any of the other stuff that we do, it's all adding value, right? You add value if you can sell it for a profit. I always went with if I could sell it for kind of quote unquote tomorrow's price, I would. If not, then I would keep it and rent it out.
So maybe let's just clarify that. So the model was not just buy and hold forever. It was buy, add value. If I can sell it for a good profit, sell it. If I can hold it and I make good cash flow, I'll hold it. Whatever the best of those options are.
I was always looking to maximize return. So I started out and I didn't have a bunch of cash, right? If you start from growing it yourself and you don't just have super deep pockets, you can't just necessarily always just buy and wait.
Yeah.
You can, but you're not going to be for how aggressive I want to be for a portfolio that I want to build. It wasn't about just going and buying a couple. Like I wanted to build an empire of properties, right? And you can't do that by simply just buying and waiting, and even by selling. And even if you do well and you make lots of money, you can't save fast enough. So it was always adding value. And if, like I said, it was always like, take for example, like when I started doing conversions, we were buying at $400K, putting 100 in, selling at $600K or whatever.
Yeah.
Right?
So we're forcing 100K appreciation.
Yeah. Or if you could say market value was in the high fives, if I could sell 50K more than that, I would.
Yeah.
So I'm just maximizing my ROI, and I'll take that cash and find another property to then do that with again.
Yeah.
Now, in hindsight, with what the market did, I would have been better to hold them, because obviously the market just shot up ridiculously.
Yeah.
But you can't anticipate that. And I also always had another property under contract when I sold one. So I was always just looking for good buys and then trying to make good sales, or I would keep it.
Yeah. So if you make the great sale, take the good buy. If you can't make the great sale, all right, we'll hold.
Yeah, and I'll always take the good buy.
Yeah.
Right? But
true.
Like
if it's good enough, it don't matter.
It's a good buy. You can find a way. You refi it out. It's always there. But I wasn't necessarily ever in a position where I'd sold a property and then the market jumped and I had to buy back in, because I always had another one under contract.
Yeah.
Even when I sold it.
And a big reason that made a lot of sense though too is, if people aren't familiar, Waterloo Region was exploding basically from 2016 to last year, where literally you buy in September, you close in November, your property's already worth 30 to 40 grand more.
And the cash flow always made sense to keep.
Yeah.
Like we did some single family flips as well that worked. My very first one was a flip that I did with another friend, Kevin.
Yeah.
Who now runs our
Shoddy Kev.
Shoddy Kev, who now runs King Street Construction. Shout out King Street Construction.
No free ads.
Yeah.
We need a sponsorship deal, Kev.
Too late. Yeah, so like we did our first flip, but that was a single family flip, but we kind of I prefer the conversions as a flip, simply because if you kept it, the cash flow was there. And you asked me earlier, cash flow appreciation. I would take cash flow simply because it's safer to me. It's more predictable. Yeah. Now, if you ask me where I've made more money, it's on appreciation. But
that was gravy though, right?
Yeah.
So, all right. So let's just do a quick recap and let's get past how you made a bunch of money. Good for you. Good job. Because that's great. And I think that model is still very applicable to people that are starting today. It just won't be as accelerated because I don't expect our market to perform like it did the last 5 years for the next 5 years.
I think we're in a position where we're going to start seeing a lot juicier deals actually hit the market.
Yes.
Actually, because those margins over the past 2 years have got really squeezed. That's why we kind of jumped up. We're doing 3-4 units, even when we're looking for conversion projects, we're looking, well, how can we add a third? It's not just the straight duplex conversion, because those deals, the margins just got so tight and the cash flow numbers start to not make sense.
Yeah. And so let's talk deals now, because I think the model that we used was not just popular, but very applicable and gives multiple options. And for investors out there, if you guys don't have a ton of experience, especially with your first couple deals, having options on how to get out of them was huge for us, because the option was, all right, let's buy something we can add value to. So first off, get a fair price for the buy. Yes, it is competitive, but it's not impossible. You can get a fair price for a buy. Figure out how to add value beyond how much you're investing in renovating the property. And if you can sell it for a great profit, and that's your model, and you want to continue to grow your cash base to get bigger deals or do multiple deals, do that. If not, the other option is move in and live in it on the cheap. The other option is rent it out and carry it and make a couple $100 a month, right? So I love that about our strategy, because if we get caught holding a property that we were intending to sell, our worst case scenario is we're making money every month on it. Boo-hoo.
Yeah.
So does that model still apply now? What are the deals that you're seeing? Maybe for say we have a first-time investor or somebody that has a primary residence and maybe has 1 or 2 properties, maybe they're worth around $1 million or $2 million net worth. What types of deals for those types of people are you being hey, I'm consistently seeing decent value in those?
So I think there's a few kind of different options on the table. I honestly don't think we've really hit a lot of the juiciest deals. I think that there are really good deals.
You think there's more juice out there?
But I think there's gonna be some more juice.
Okay.
I think there'll be a bit more juice. Not much more, but there'll be. And not to say if there's a good deal today, I always take bird in hand.
Yeah. Honestly, but the good deals right now are gone so quick.
They're gone quickly.
So what are we looking? Duplex conversions? We looking straight up 3-4plex buy and hold?
I mean, if you can there's golden vacancy, especially in the multis. So I've seen some deals on triplexes that are coming vacant. Those to me are money. Yeah. Those are can be so lucrative. I think right now if you're looking to buy, you're buying value. Your prices are down pretty significantly from where they were.
20%, almost 20% still.
Cash flow right now. Okay, there's just not, but there should be. Don't get yourself in a position where there isn't any cash flow at all, stay away from those deals. Your numbers are still going to make sense.
And they still do, honestly, with around 20% down, 3, 4, 5 unit properties still work well.
So like the money right now is, if you can get into a deal that cash flows today, over time, we will see interest rates come down, and that's going to dramatically increase your cash flow. It's also going to boost your value, because as rates drop, affordability is going to go up, and that's really going to drive prices again. We've got so many buyers still sitting on the sidelines. Big picture here, we don't have enough housing. We've got a ton of people pouring into the country. So when interest rates come down, we are still going to have a simple supply and demand issue that's going to ultimately drive prices. So if you can get in today at X amount for your property, paying 6%, 7%, whatever you're paying, but you're still cash flowing on it, okay, when rates come back down to something more reasonable, now the free money's gone. Don't count on you are not going to see the free money again. Okay, don't be like, oh well, when rates come back down to 1.5%, because it's not going to happen. But if they come down to 4, 4.5, 5 even, okay, now you're actually seriously making some good money there. There's some good cash flow there, and then by doing that, you're going to increase your value. So like, to me, the good deals right now, I would look multis. I think there's a ton of value in some of the smaller multis that have a couple of units vacant. There is value in the conversions as well. I see when I say conversions, I mean the duplex conversions or the multiplex conversions. I would go as far as say, like, you need to be looking to add 3 units now, or to add 2 to make it 3 units.
Yeah, I was just going to say, duplexes, adding a third unit can be nice right now.
Yeah, because your cost per door is so much less.
Yeah, and let's just be clear. I think for the multi-unit deals, I mean, we look at all of them. Yeah. Anything that hits the market, we see.
Yeah.
I think there's probably like 2, maybe 4 really good multi-unit deals under $5 million every month. Maybe.
I don't even think there's that many, honestly.
Right.
And I think if you're looking at those deals, it's not like you said, it's for first-time investors or investors that are even just mid-level or mid-lower level and maybe starting to get into real estate. Like, it's hard to go out there and find cash flow on some of the big stuff. They're still trading at like much more like a 3.5% cap rate.
Yeah,
that's garbage. You need to be putting down, unless you're buying it in cash. If you're parking capital, there's serious upside in that in 20 years. Okay?
Yeah,
like, you will make very, very good money.
Yeah, I agree.
Right, but again, if we're talking about how we went about it and being aggressive and trying to scale from
you need the income to support it.
You've got $100,000, a couple $100,000. You can't go and get into something big right now.
No,
you can't.
Go scoop up a good duplex conversion layup property. Go scoop up a triplex on the cheap.
Go add value and go do something like that, because you're not going to get into some of these big multis.
Yeah.
You're playing with the big boys, and they're simply just, they've got cash that they're looking to park.
They got better cash and better financing options. Period.
Yes, and they're looking to park cash. Like, you need to put 50% down. A good multi right now, like if you've a good deal on a multi, is like a 5% cap rate. And you can't put, first off, you're in a commercial, you can't even put like 35% down and have that cash flow. You can't.
Yeah.
Your debt coverage ratios aren't there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And that was our hesitation, right? Yes. The last year or so, it's been tough.
Yes. Yeah. Like it's very challenging. Now, do I think there's serious upside when units turn over? Yes.
Yes. But you gotta have the capital and you gotta be able to wait it out.
To be made there. Yes. And if you're a bigger investor and looking to take bigger bites, it does make sense to do those deals because it's less work.
Yeah,
right?
Less work for more end result.
If you've got $1 million that you're looking to invest in something, go big, because you could do a bunch of the small stuff. Your ROI is going to be better, but it's going to be a lot of running around
or you're paying people to do it all for you.
Or but then
what's the point?
Then your margins are shrinking.
Yeah,
right. And again, you may as well I would go bigger if you're talking like you got $1 million, go get into something big, put some money down, save some money for cash or keys, turn over units.
Yep.
And you'll add serious value to those multis.
Yep.
But if you're looking to get started, you've got to go. I would look like 3 or 4 units or a conversion, but try and get a conversion that you can do 3 units or there's at least an option for it. And I'm talking like maybe an ADU in the back, maybe an in-law in the basement. You can Airbnb. Get creative.
Yeah. And honestly, like, buying the biggest property in the best neighborhood you can comfortably afford, add an extra unit to it, add value by renovating it. Like, the simple strategies. That's what I'm a simple guy. So that's what I loved about real estate investing, is like the simple concepts are the ones that work. Getting creative on how to find or create the value, I find, is a little bit more of a skill set that most newer people just don't have. But like the learn your market, figure out what a good price point is for your target property.
Yeah, and getting creative with your financing and different ways to do it. Like
the way you acquire property may be different than how you own and hold the property, guys. Like, so I think without going too deep, I think a lot of the similar strategies apply, but expectations need to change because our market isn't going up 3% a month anymore.
Well, again, you can't bank on the appreciation.
So find the good locations, make it a cash flow positive property, or acquire it as a cash flow positive property, and then sit tight. You're doing well.
On long term, you will have growth.
Yeah, people they got so short sighted because the market was so crazy for the last few months or years, right?
Yeah.
So okay, we went on a little bit on there, but I think all applicable stuff, and I think for a lot of people, if you have like a full-time job. Like if you work 40 hours and you aren't prepared to have another full-time job while you're searching for, acquiring, and managing a property, like be real about your expectations as an investor. For me and you, it's our full-time job. And honestly, guys, 40-hour weeks, like that's a slow week.
That's not a thing.
That's a slow week. That's a December in real estate, guys. Like that doesn't exist. Yeah. So like, but the the opportunity's there. So if people are watching this or listening to this, like there's a lot of free resources. We listen to podcasts, YouTube shows, go to networking events. There's a lot to learn, but nothing, absolutely nothing will replace just going out and doing it. Have a good plan, have a little bit of a margin of safety, find somebody that you trust that does the deals that that you want to do, and just go out and do them. Because like I've learned more by doing personally than I have by watching and listening.
Yeah, or at least like find someone that's doing it and hang out with them.
So it's that simple.
Be around them.
Well, that's how we got into real estate sales, right? Find somebody who's doing what you want to do in that business, learn from them, do what they do.
Yeah.
It's not rocket science. Real estate is simple, but it's not easy.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay, what's news? This is the What's News segment. I throw some topics at you about Kitchener, Waterloo. We're going to keep it to real estate specific because this is you're my real estate partner. Mm-hmm. So I'm just going to throw out some. If you want to take it, you take it. If you don't, you don't. Low supply. Affordability. Condo redevelopment. Picking up. Condos, Kitchener, Waterloo condos.
There's a lot of condos getting.
Dude, a lot of condos. A lot of them are going. You want to touch condos? You want to talk condos?
I'm not a condo guy, but
why aren't you a condo guy?
There's too many going on.
They don't cash flow.
There's a lot. I think that's going to get a little saturated. Yeah. Honestly.
Okay. I got you.
Am I supposed to answer when you're just saying words?
No. I got you. This is a good segue. So for us, I'm pretty sure I told you. So I read last year, 2022, that 25% of residential properties were not owner occupied. Mm. So let's assume that 75% are owner occupied, 25% are owned by investors. Mm-hmm. Do you expect that number to increase or decrease in the next 5 years?
Oh, we're headed towards way more investors owning.
Why?
There's an affordability issue. The rich will get richer.
Do you think that will continue just in Kitchener, Waterloo, or is this like a Canada, Ontario-wide trend?
That's just a thing.
Yeah, I agree. I was trying to figure out our way to properly articulate the affordability crunch that we're actually been experiencing, especially since we've been in the business. Because look, we grew up in Waterloo Region. We've been here for over 25 years, let's say. I know, I have. You're pretty close too. Mm-hmm. So when we were growing up, you had one or two working parents that were doing okay. You could afford a house and a car or two. Mm-hmm. You could go play sports. You could go on a vacation or two a year. You could live what would be considered, quote unquote, a nice middle class life.
Yeah, I think that people still can do that, honestly. I think people have unrealistic expectations of what that first home is. And I think that paralyzes them in a lot of ways where they don't actually make that jump into something that's not. I mean, it used to be like, sure, our parents could go and buy their first home and that was their forever home. That ship sailed, right? You get a couple, or even you get friends or siblings or whatever. We see people like that all the time. You can go out and do it. People just need to have realistic expectations and be in it for a bit longer. You just got to adjust the bar a little bit for your first property.
That being said, though, affordability is getting crushed.
It is, but there's also a lot of people with good jobs.
Yep.
Right? Yeah. But again, that is like
that's our business.
Yeah, and it is just, it's our supply issue ultimately.
Yeah, straight
up. If we
up.
have more supply, we would level out.
We would see less price appreciation. Yeah. More homeowners would be able to afford to stay in, keep, or purchase a property.
There's a lot of people that are making good money. Like we've got a ton of, obviously, we got a lot of tech and stuff around here. Like people that are making good money.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe we're talking more to like the middle class, but I also think that they can find a way. Like I think people are also just just whine and shit a lot these days and don't want to get off their ass and go do it. They just want to bitch about how things are unfair. I think if they want to actually go and do it, they could just go and do it.
The opportunity is there. I 100% do think the opportunity is there, and I think it's easier. No offense, but it's a little bit easier for you to say because you kind of went out and did it yourself. Right? There's some people that either get handouts or they come from a family of wealth and privilege. But
I agree.
But that aside, like even if you are high school educated, if you're willing to go put in 60, 70, 80 hour weeks, if you're willing to like think ahead a little bit and surround yourself or find people that you can work for or help or be involved in their business, there's a lot of people. I when I first got into real estate, I thought everybody in real estate was just like a lying, backstabbing psycho. Because you just think it's like big corporate raiders that are just there to steal and pillage every deal they can, right? There is some of that out there, but honestly, in real estate, and I find even in business too, when I go to meetups or I go to events, most people that are successful in business are actually just genuinely people that just want to grow a business and see how far they can go.
They just got out and done it.
They just want to do it. So I think, and I gave this piece of advice when I was on another podcast, was just like, honestly, just go and take action. Whatever it is, just do more action, because like sitting down and thinking about it ain't going to get anything done.
Yeah, I do. I think there's a lot of that. I think there's a lot of just like people complaining, and maybe it's going to be unpopular for me to say that, but there's a lot of people just sitting around complaining that shit's not fair. And if, I don't know.
Life's not fair. Did you ever get the life's not fair from your parents when you were growing up? Dude, I got the life's not fair all the time.
Like take control of your own destiny and go do it if that's...
Wow, so inspirational. Right? This isn't even a real estate podcast.
Nugget you talked about, What'd
you say?
There's that little
There's nugget. That nugget? That's it? Oh no, that's weak. That was weak. Okay, so we're going to wrap this up before we get to the last segment. If you had to give a piece of advice for people that are involved in real estate or want to be investing in real estate in Waterloo Region, what's a couple things that you're really looking out for the next 5-10 years here in Waterloo Region? What do you like?
Sorry, say it again.
If you're looking out for investors, you're giving them a little piece of advice, what do you like in real estate here in Waterloo Region? Just as an investor in general. Like, what are some stuff that's on your map that you're looking at that you think in the next 5-10 years are going to be really great?
I like stuff close to downtown. In terms of, you're talking properties in general.
Anything, man. Anything. Like, what's on your mind? What are you thinking for the next 5-10 years?
Cash flow is always king. Okay.
Cash flow is king.
If you can be cash flow positive, you'll ride out any of the waves. And I think, over the next, if you're talking 5, 10, 20 years, we are going to see prices increase. Again, simply because of our supply and demand issue that isn't going to change. They're not going to build enough, and they're going to keep pouring people in. So, like, that is inevitable.
Yeah.
At least in my mind, that is inevitable.
Yep.
So I think that, if you can buy locations, like buying downtown locations, big lots, I think are going to be valuable, especially in some of these downtown locations.
Yep.
If you can buy those that currently cash flow, but there's future redevelopment potential,
huge,
things like that.
We've looked at a lot of stuff like that. It's a big value add for us.
That's where I think we'll be going.
Yeah.
In the next 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
I bought that property a couple years back, that 1.5 story home, because on a big lot that I want to redevelop.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that'll be huge. Right? Also, before we wrap this up too, before we get to the last segment, talk to us about ADUs. Do we see opportunity in ADUs?
I think there's a ton of opportunity in ADUs.
Okay, how many people, like, some of the comments I've been getting, some of the kickback on is like, how many people want a small house in their backyard? But I don't think it's about that. I straight up just think if the numbers make sense as a homeowner or as an investor, people will do it.
So I think you've got two markets for it. You've got homeowners that like want to stick their parents in the back, they want to stick their kids in the back or whatever it is, right? I think that's most common. I think most homeowners aren't going to want to do that and then rent out because they're going to lose their backyard. So I think if you're living in your home, if you're going to do it, it's going to be for like an immediate family member or something like that. Okay. Then you've got the investors. I think the numbers speak for themselves in the investment. I think the family side it's
personal preference.
It appeals to a situation.
Yeah.
Okay. And that can differ. I think the investment side, it makes so much sense. You take a duplex that's worth, call a duplex worth anywhere between $800,000 and $900,000 right now, which I think is pretty conservative. You're $400,000 to $450,000 a unit. Okay, most of these ADUs you're getting built for like $250,000 all in. Okay, and I find the biggest thing when you talk to people is like, holy shit, it costs that much to build one of these. Well, yeah, it's a whole new house. They call them tiny homes, garden suites, ADUs, like additional.
But these are like 700, 800 square foot, 2-bedroom bungalows, man.
Like they're literally like another house on your property, and you're building it for half the cost of your other units.
Because you don't have to buy the land, people.
Yeah, it's half the cost of the other units. So, and you can rent it out for more. Are you going to rent out a 2-bedroom basement unit or an ADU for more money?
Yeah.
Which one's going to be more appealing to a tenant to live in?
ADU is going to be nicer, man. You're above ground.
and you've got
And
no
separate.
neighbors.
Nobody attached to you to hear their foot
That's way
stomps.
more appealing.
Yeah.
Right? So if you can build that for half the cost and charge more rent for it, how does that not make sense for an investor? Get over the price thing. Get over the, oh my God.
That'll never stop, though. People will never get over how expensive things are. Things are so expensive.
Yeah, but that is what it is. You're going to make $30,000 a year on it.
Yeah.
Okay? Your cap rates, you're talking 8 to 10% cap rate on it. That is double
what you can get in the market.
What our market's giving us.
Yeah, and then you get to build it for your own. And, ladies and gentlemen, no rent control.
And they're not rent control. So, like, why... How does that not make sense for investors that already own duplexes? Okay?
Yeah.
I also think they may even like change that where like Toronto's done it now where like you can do it for like 3 units. Like you can have a triplex and stick an ADU on there.
Yeah.
Right. So I think we'll head in that direction as well. To my point of like, you know, owning properties that are on larger lots downtown because you just don't know what you can do later on.
Yeah. And also for the locals, they know. But for people who aren't familiar with Waterloo Region, like downtown Kitchener, uptown Waterloo was always, you know, fairly good shape, but downtown Kitchener used to be a little rough, but it's come a long turning a big, sexy, profitable corner right now. It's come a long way. We're big fans.
There's money just pouring into it. Like there's some of the big boys just pouring.
And it's honestly just way better. Like I grew up downtown. It's just way better to be around now than it was 10 years ago.
100% is. Yeah, man. ADUs, they're fine. Like we're building the one now. Like I've got a couple properties that I've owned since before we started buying stuff.
And so I'm gonna do.
You'll do one on your place
on Romy, yeah. And so if people are curious about the ADUs, we got some videos coming out on the YouTube channel and the Instagram, and we're also gonna do a tour of the ADU when it's built. But if people have questions when this comes out about it, like reach out myself or Matt directly. Like
we're gonna do an event at.
We will, but we don't have dates yet, so we're just gonna tease that. Okay, so let's wrap this up. Let's talk about the goods. So if you were gonna give, Matt, 7 years ago when you first got into the business, investing in real estate, selling real estate full time, you're gonna give yourself a piece of advice that you wish you had now. I mean, we got a lot of good advice when we first got into business, but what was like one thing that you would be like, do more of that?
I felt like I was always pretty balls to the wall with how I went about real estate investing, honestly.
Politically correct.
Yeah, like without having a better way to put it.
Yeah.
I think more of that.
Do you remember any mistakes you made? Somebody asked me that on a podcast, and that caught me off guard because, like, I'm typical human. I try and forget and bury the mistakes like they never happened.
Classic.
Obviously,
when money's cheap, like we overextended a little too leveraged when money was cheap. Frankly,
it was so cheap though.
It was so cheap, and times were good, and it also enabled us to make a lot of good deals.
Yeah.
If I could take a couple back, I would, but it's not. I wouldn't want that attitude to get in the way of doing more deals. Like if I would talk to myself 7 years ago, I wouldn't say be more careful. Like I definitely wouldn't. I would maybe say do bigger deals. I think maybe that would be it.
I think that's But
at the time, those deals was kind of what I could afford, and that's what made sense. I would maybe say do like the triplex, fourplex thing sooner. I did a bunch of conversions. I probably could have got into a triplex.
So I was going to say, like,
just a bit sooner.
When you say do bigger deals, like, why? Why do bigger deals quicker?
Just bigger bites. I think you got the same problems. No matter the deal that you're going to do, you're going to have hiccups. You're going to first you got to find the deal. Then you got to finance the deal. Then you got to renovate the deal. Then you got to place the tenants and deal with their ongoing, issues and things. But I think a lot of, like, the issues are all the same, whether it's 2 units or 4 units or whatever. I think that a lot of those issues are the same. And I would just take bigger bites.
Yeah. I think that's fair advice. I think once you kind of establish what you want out of your real estate investing, where you fit in, what your skill set is, once you're comfortable with kind of knowing what you're capable of, what you can do, obviously push yourself, but like jump into the bigger deals, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to have the same problems, but you're going to have a bigger pot at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, it depends on how much money you make or you have,
Yes.
Yes. Because obviously we talked about this earlier, you kind of take the opportunity that's there, but like I said, even that small little jump can be more profitable. Instead of doing 2, do 3.
Yeah. So jumping up into bigger deals, balls to the wall. I think those are both very professional opinions and pieces of advice. What's like a resource or a show or a book or a podcast or a guide, something that, you've either touched recently or that you're continually doing that you've like really liked or helped for investing specifically?
Well, Phipps Brittain YouTube channel. Shameless
plug.
Yeah.
Our YouTube channel's not as great as our Instagram, but yeah. Our YouTube channel's coming along.
Yeah.
And let's be real, you don't really watch my videos that much.
No, I don't. You do your thing.
I barely watch my videos, dude. Nobody wants to watch themselves on camera that much, right? Like I do, but I don't.
Yeah.
Right?
I listen to a lot of different real estate investing podcasts.
Yep.
I'm not a big reader, frankly. Like I don't.
You went through a phase there for a little bit.
Yeah, but I prefer to listen to a lot of podcasts. Like I walk my dog every day, and it's a good time to just listen to some podcasts.
Yeah, true.
A lot of it is just on mindset and stuff as well. I think really helps you stay steady.
Yeah, I think that's a sneaky piece of advice. Maybe I'll just kind of hijack this section. This section right here is like learning about like yourself and your skill set and developing your own skills is like YouTube University, people. Like you can listen to podcasts, you can read books, you can like watch stuff on YouTube on like how to underwrite a deal better, how to understand language, how to understand negotiating. Like those are like small things you could literally spend a half hour a couple times a week and like learn so much.
Yeah, know what you're good at.
Yes.
Double down on that.
Yes. Don't try and fix everything on your own.
No.
Do what you're good at and get better at that.
And then double down on that and double down on that again. And then hire out the rest and partner the rest.
Yeah. So like just be clear, like Matt, great at negotiating deals, great at finding value and finding deals and working them, like has that skill set, right? Also really understanding renovation budgets and designing places. I'm not the renovation guy. I have the softest hands of all time. I work at a desk and a computer. So I'm not going to go in and do all this work. So my value is putting together projects, sourcing money, finding contacts, finding deals, like understanding where you fit in the equation, I think is huge. And people try and do everything for the first one or two, do everything so you can learn it and figure out what you hate and what you don't like.
I'm big on finding the right partners.
That's huge.
I've done partners on a lot of my deals and I always find that's.
Yep. It can help. Sense. You can go further together.
Yeah.
Friendship. Okay, let's wrap this up. If people want to get in touch with you, if people want to talk to Matt, what are you willing to talk about? You looking for clients to sell houses? Are you looking to advise on investing? Like, what are we doing?
Both.
Okay, so if people want to reach out to you to buy and sell, if people want to reach out to you to just talk real estate investing, talk Kitchener-Waterloo real estate.
Reach out to you through all of the social media that you do.
Wow.
I'm not on the social media. You can email me directly, matt@phippsbrittain.com. You want to reach me direct. You want to cut Zack out of the equation, matt@phippsbrittain.com.
Yeah, I'm going to put your cell phone number in the notes here.
Put my cell in there. You want to call me, text me, and do it up. That's cool.
I asked a loaded question, like fully all the contact information.
That's fine. Don't social media me because I'm not there, but you can hit up our stuff.
Call and email.
Derek, Zack will get you in touch with me.
Yeah. And so also shout out to the producer, Derek.
Yeah.
Shout out to producer Derek, hooking us up. All right, first episode of the PBR show on the wraps. Matt, thanks for coming in. Appreciate you doing this. I know you're not a big media guy, but I want people to know who you are, what you're about. And honestly, you did pretty well. No sweating.
Thanks, man.
All right, appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Right. See you next time.